Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's. All things summer, all at the right price.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
According to the Times of India, Ramamato, 65, captured and bit a baby viper in retaliation for an earlier attack outside his home in a village in India. He was allegedly under the influence of alcohol at the time, was sitting out on his front porch there on Sunday when the baby snake reportedly bit him on the leg. He eventually managed to then catch the viper in his hand. Then in a surprising twist, he decided to enact his own unique form of vengeance on the animal, reported India TV. In a statement issued by police and reported by the news, the family said he was bitten more than 10 times on the face while chewing on the snake. He eventually then discarded the reptile into a nearby tree. Now, despite his family urging him to go to the hospital and seek treatment, he refused and went to sleep, believing the snake's bite carried no venom due to the snake's age. He went to bed, and he was found dead on Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Our question, only I can injure myself while doing blank. 206-421-ROCK.
In the general rule that when it comes to venomous snakes, the babies are worse.
I'm going to bite it back.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'll show him.
Hello, Angel. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hello, Angel. Goodbye, Angel. Hello, Brett. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
So this is a pretty good one for you guys. You're going to laugh pretty hard. So I was with my buddy cruising through Marysville just one night, kind of, not doing too much. And I had a Hot Wheels car in my pocket for some reason I grabbed from his house. So we're cruising down the road, and I'm like, hanging out the window, and I'm like, oh, I see a street sign. I'm like, oh, sweet. So I grab it, huck it at the street sign. Well, it bounces back and hits me directly in the forehead inside the car.
Damn.
Yeah, and my buddies didn't know what happened because I kind of just curled up into a ball. And he said the sound of it hitting my forehead was louder than the sound of it hitting the sign.
Did you did it open up your face or anything?
Oh yeah, I still have a dent in the center of my forehead.
Oh, you have a dent. All right, so not even a scar.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Why? You got a dent in your head. Any dent in your head is a bad dent in your head.
How old were you when you did this?
This is a couple months ago. I'm 20.
Okay, yeah, I mean...
Okay, all right.
You're still in the window of dumb. Yeah. But I mean...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look, yeah, we threw stuff at signs, too. You're probably same age.
Did you go...
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing.
Did you go to the hospital?
Oh, no. I just went home and we laughed about it, and yeah.
And how long did your forehead hurt after the Hot Wheel car ricocheted off of it?
Oh, man, I had a solid giant goose egg for like 2 days.
And did you tell people the truth, or did you lie?
Oh, no, I told them. Everyone got a kick out of it. My grandma was, like, rolling on the floor when I showed up to her house to tell her.
And why did your buddy still have Hot Wheel cars at 20 years old?
Not quite sure. I don't even remember how I found it.
All right. We used to work with a guy that had a Hot Wheel car collection.
Oh, yeah.
And he's very proud of it. I went over to his house once, and he's like, you got to come down to the basement. I'm like, all right. And even his wife gave me that knowing look of prepared to not be impressed. But we go into his basement, and he has this massive Hot Wheel car collection. And I was not impressed because this is a grown man collecting Hot Wheel cars. But the flip side, I was impressed that this particular grown man was that dedicated to still collecting Hot Wheel cars.
I saw a video, man. 5-6 months ago it was on Twitter of this guy, and he collected Hot Wheels cars. So he had like a couple of this one car, which was a Honda Civic, but it was one of the it was a newer Honda Civic, and it was like a sport edition or whatever.
So it was like a rare one or something?
No, it was just, whatever their sport edition is on their Civic, but it was white, and it was exactly the car that pulled up out in front of his apartment building. So he decides, what the hell, I'm just going to put this car, you know what I mean, in a package underneath the guy's windshield wiper. So the guy comes out, like, goes to the front of his car and sees this thing, man, and he just loses his mind. He's like, "This is the greatest day of my life."
Really?
I've never seen, you don't realize the excitement level that Hot Wheels cars bring, I think, to a lot of people.
I didn't collect G.I. Joes, but I probably still took them with me everywhere until I was, 23.
Your mom still has them, right?
No.
Did she get rid of them, or?
No, I lost them in one of the 5 times I've moved since I've been in Seattle, or 4 times. Somewhere along the way, the Joes went missing.
How many do you think you had?
I don't know. All right, look, I had 22 of them.
Jeez, dude.
Really?
I don't collect them. I just had 22.
Well, yeah.
That's a collection, bro.
You had a whole army.
Like most kids had 4.
They didn't do a lot of, right, but remember, they're the little guys.
I know,
okay.
Still.
But they didn't do a lot of fighting. My Joes were more about football.
Oh, really?
So that's why I had 22, because I had 11 and 11.
I see.
And you'd have to go down the line and make, sometimes the tight end would have to chip at the end.
Who's your quarterback?
Is it an Army-Navy game? What is going on here?
No, it was just the guys I lined up. One guy to me just had, his character had more of a neck roll, so he was like the middle linebacker.
Good call.
I think Shadow, because he was like a ninja or something. He played DB.
Oh, you know what? That's
I see what you're doing.
I like how you
This
broke
is so
it down.
pathetic.
I'll put the black guys out on the side. I'll put the big white guys with the thick neck in the middle of fullback.
He went to Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But I was working as a bartender and would come home at night and narrate in my head oh, what a grab, like NFL films with G.I. Joes.
Wow, I don't know if that's funny or just sad. My emotions are torn.
Well, I'm still to this day. I'm I need to get more Joes. It seemed relaxing at the time.
Probably was.
You know what? During the pandemic, you probably could have used it.
Right.
I love you, Brett. I love you too, Ben. Only I could injure myself while doing blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Flint was the quarterback.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, when I was a teenager, I don't know why I had the bright idea to, shave my pubes, on, not above, but, below, with scissors, right?
Oh, jeez,
and
man.
as I'm doing it, my friend starts banging on my bathroom door, are you done in there yet? And it scared me so bad, I just snipped right through my sack.
Oh, no. Jesus, man.
Oh.
How bad was it?
I could, I'm not going to lie, I, pulled the flap open because I'm gruesome like that.
You can see in.
Yeah,
you can.
In.
It's
How long did it take to stop bleeding?
Couple hours, I think, an hour or two. I didn't even go to the hospital or anything because I didn't want my dad to know. I was God forbid he finds out and starts giving me all kinds of crap.
Yeah, but it's your penis, man. If anybody, you can talk to him about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, look, man, if you're going to trim up down, and that's when fathers give really good advice. Look, yes, I'm laughing at you. Yes, you're a fool, but you have learned the hard lesson. Do not use scissors around your satchel. It never ends well, man. That's why electric trimmers are the way to go.
Do you still trim on the bottom?
Yeah, not with scissors, though.
Okay, good. All right. I'm just checking.
What do you wrap around your testicles to get them to stop bleeding? Are they sitting in a paper towel?
I have looked into my scrotum before during the surgery, just to see what the hell it looked like. It was I don't know. I was awake during the surgery. Right. What's going on in there?
I took my shirt off and wrapped it around.
Your shirt, huh? I'm a paper towel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have grabbed paper towels, just sat in one place, and let my satchel sit on it.
Only I can injure myself by doing blank. 206-421-ROCK.
That's always the toughest part, though, right? Even when you're trimming up with beard trimmers.
Oh yeah,
it's very there's a center line. You got to be very careful around there.
Yes, you do. Yeah. And it's amazing. My hands can be shaking from a hangover, but if I'm trimming my pubes and I'm around there, they are rock steady, dude.
Yeah.
It is that important to protect it. And I'm pretty sure that is the brain of my penis commanding my hands at that point. Do not slip up. Let me take over. Hello, Chucky. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, my fellow bitches. How are you guys doing?
Hola. We're doing well. Thank you, man.
Well, my story goes, it was a while ago. It was 7-8 years ago. I used to be diving, and I dove 190 feet, and I blew out my sinuses.
Jeez, you dove 190 feet? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Was this off a cliff?
190. No, it was in the water.
In the water. He was like scuba diving.
He went 190 feet down.
You were diving. I got you.
It was not scuba diving. It was commercial diving with a hard hat.
And so what, did it feel like your face just exploded?
It felt like have you ever got hit by a baseball before in your face?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
It felt like that. But you cannot do anything. You just have to sit there with the pain, with the throbbing head.
Is it
190 feet down? You cannot just get...
You can't just go up. Right.
To the surface. You have to, go through the decompression, stops. So, I had to sit there for like almost 2 hours with a throbbing head.
Oh, my God.
So, is it...
Helmet.
Do you feel it...
Helmet, he was full of water and blood.
Do you feel it happening? Jesus. I love the fact you were just dead on with the descriptions, man. Is it? Do you gradually feel it happening, or is there just a point in the dive where it explodes?
Oh no! You know how you go up a hill and your ears pop?
Yeah.
So if you go underwater, you have to pressurize your body. So it's the opposite. So you have to put your nose in this little place into the helmet, and you blow out. And it pressurizes your body, your head cavity.
Okay.
So it was only a matter of 0.5, feet. I just looked down and then I felt, like a noise and like I just hear a popping noise, and it was just horrible.
Do you think?
And then after that, you have to go into the chamber, into the pressurized chamber, the hyperbolic chamber, because you still have nitrogen.
So you won't get the bends or whatever. Did you? Now let me ask you a question. Your sinuses were obviously clogged with something. So when it self blows out, I mean, do you not have sinus issues anymore? It seems to me like you cleared your sinuses out, not naturally, but on your own.
Well, now every time I wake up, it feels like I have allergies. So everybody asks me, "Are you sick or something?"
Okay.
And then I have to go through the whole entire story.
Well, that's hell.
That is not something I ever want to experience.
I cannot dive anymore. And then apparently, when it happened again, and I got in big trouble because I did not report the first one. So apparently, I did not read the fine lines.
So you didn't tell them that this happened. Now let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What were you diving for? Were you doing like exploratory diving, or were you doing like an oil rig, or what?
No, I used to be inspecting, piers and stuff.
Okay.
Water lines, they go underneath the piers.
All right. Yeah, well,
it's not a job I want.
No.
I like how he expressed. Have you ever been hit with a baseball in your face?
Actually, yes. Only I can injure myself on doing blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Eli. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
All right, so I must have been 14, maybe 15 years old at the time, and I was living in Snohomish, and me and my friends heard of this like kid club or whatever you want to call it in Kirkland called K-Town, and they were having this event at the time where JWoww from Jersey Shore was going to come by and
get out of here.
All right.
No.
In Kirkland?
Kirkland. Yes,
whoa, of all places.
Right off the waterfront.
I can't believe of all places from someone to show up from the Jersey Shore, they would pick Kirkland.
I think she must have been there for some actual club in Seattle, and then she's like, here, I'm going to come to this kid place. So anyways, I'm there having a good time with my friends, and we like to take our recreational activities beforehand, and so I'm a little wired up and having a good time, and I'm dancing. And so this is something similar to what one of you guys had happen, but now with my knee. I'm doing this move called the SpongeBob back then, and if you kick your back legs out back and forth, that ridiculous move you see him do on the show. Well, I'm 6'3", and at the time I was probably 6'1", 145, tall, skinny. Just I couldn't know my foot from my ass. So I ended up falling straight, full body on my left ankle, and just felt this click and pop, and I knew something was wrong. But I decided, my dumbass is just going to keep hanging out and have a good time. And
just dancing on it still, and I still did. Ended up fracturing it.
Did you get a chance to meet JWoww?
I ended up touching her hand and freaking the hell out.
Wow. All right.
Wow. Wait.
That's the wow in Jay.
Hold on. You touched her hand and you freaked out.
Maybe. I this 14-year-old.
Yeah. Hey.
Hormonal teenager.
Sure.
Now, did she know you were going to touch her hand? Like, was this something that you both agreed?
There's just like this little mini stage up in the front, and like she's up there, and you have the DJ at the time announcing her, and she comes up, we're talking, and everyone can kind of get close, and there's her security, and there's like a, I don't know, little like, what would you call it? Those
manager?
No, there's these posts that you have in like movie theaters that are like stringy or whatever.
Oh, the velvet rope thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
she's a VIP. That's what JWoww.
Yeah, so it's surrounding her, right? And so, like, I just reach over. I'm a tall, lengthy-ass kid, and I'm just like, she's reaching out to the crowd, touching everyone. So I'm like, yep, there we go.
I touched JWoww.
JWoww's the one that has the big fake ones, right? JWoww?
Oh,
she did, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
She was the better-looking one, I would say, of the... okay. Yeah, I like how they do the velvet rope. Like, that's perfect security. Exactly. No one can breach this incredible scenario that you have.
It seems to work in weird situations.
I think it works in like VIP for clubs, just because if somebody does step over it where they're not supposed to, it's pretty easy to just be like security.
But it's weird because I feel like if you set up any kind of barrier, people try to find a way to breach it, right? You could put them in a shark cage and like 800 people try to break in. You set up the velvet rope, somehow it's just understood like, hey, look, hey man.
Well, I think it's kind of so people do try to break into barriers, but also sometimes people, especially in those situations, like I've been in a beer garden before where there was one giant line and then just a guy standing there going, there are two lines.
Right.
But everybody had just queued up behind the one person, so they didn't even think about it. So I think that's how the velvet ropes work. You know what I mean? Like, everybody just kind of respects it, so then before you know it, you're like, you can't go over there.
I also think it's a matter of self-importance. Like, we have three sets of doors that get into our building.
Right.
Now, if you put a velvet rope with a rug, you know what I mean, a red rug, and put it in front of one of those doors, I would never use it.
You wouldn't, no.
And the reason I would never use it is because I would be like, that's not for me.
But to me, velvet rope...
I'm not that important. I'm like, that's for somebody who's coming in here who's important.
The velvet rope, to me, screams that security around the velvet rope is more severe and faster than any other kind of, right?
Yeah.
Cops do things like, hey, man, get back over the fence, right? Velvet rope is someone who weighs 360 pounds wearing a suit, has an earpiece, is going to take me down, beat the piss out of me, and throw me on the street.
I just was wondering.
And the velvet ropes go back and forth. Because I see them in a ton of places where you're like, oh, this is classy. And I've seen them in some other places where I'm like, come on. You wasted money buying those.
This bar's
called,
I mean? This bar's called Coconuts.
The waitress isn't even like unhooking it. She's just hopping back and forth over it.
They have shooters and test tubes. Come on.
Right.
Only I can injure myself while doing blank. 206-421-ROCK.
But it does feel nice when that big dude unclicks it for you. Like, don't mind if I do.
If I get to walk through a velvet rope, you're damn right. I feel good. It could be to take my trash out. But somehow there's a velvet rope. You're like, this is very important trash.
Yeah.
Understand that. Hello, Clinton. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Back when I was 16, we had a bigger dog, and anyways, I was going to take him out for a walk, and I had a hold of his leash with my right hand, and I was holding the screen open, shutting the door with my left hand, and he pulls my arm. So the screen door comes back, hits me in the face, splits my lip. So I'm getting upset. So I reach forward to like reaching backwards, and I fall off the porch. I was four steps up. Well, anyway, there was pipes that hold the garbage cans up. Smacked my face right into it. So I guess being younger, it's just karma, I guess.
Clinton, don't take this wrong, but I hand to God, I wish I witnessed that.
I wish there was a door cam back then.
I mean,
now they're pretty commonplace.
I would just like
a
to
whole
see
highlight reel the other day of just people just absolutely eating it on porches on doorbell ring cams. It was great. It was like 5 minutes worth of just people just face first everywhere.
I don't know what it is about porches, man. Like, if you have a porch at least 5 times in the amount of time you live in that house, you're going to eat it on your own porch. It's not because of snow, it's not wet, there's no goddamn reason at all. Mm-hmm. You're going to F up and hurt yourself.
You ever take the extra step
I take the extra
It's
step.
not there.
But only in my place. Only inside. I've done that before inside. Like, we go,
Yeah.
oh, God. I'm
Like,
already.
this is my house. How do I not know?
I mean, look, I'm only asking as I've only done it at a place I've lived too.
Yeah. Only I can injure myself by doing blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
I'm Glennon Doyle, author of Untamed and host of the podcast We Can Do Hard Things. Each week, we talk openly and honestly about the hard things in life together with you. So join us and some of our dearest friends and greatest heroes to talk about anxiety, boundaries, parenting, infidelity, our bodies, loving and losing, all of the things that make us human. Listen to and follow We Can Do Hard Things on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Love the mochas here.
Too bad my budget doesn't.
Sarah, don't give it up. State Farm has options to get you a surprisingly great rate.
Thanks, Jake. Next round's on me.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Ryan Castle joining us momentarily. Once again, we'll sit and spin. Today we've got 10 songs with actual animal sounds in the songs. Then we with Ryan Castle. Right after emails on our question, only I can injure myself while doing blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Steven. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
All right, gentlemen, here we go. So I was on my wedding night. We just left to the hotel for our honeymoon. Getting ready. Well, I'll just be real. I'm not circumcised. So I got to be careful. I've been very careful my whole life. You can't go in a situation raw. I'm fairly big, so I've got a lot of girth. And if you don't prep right, this exact scenario is what happened. So we're getting ready. I'm going, and I thrust in, and boom, I ripped the hood of my member.
Now, was this the first time that you'd ever had sex?
No. This was just the first time that ever happened because I didn't prep properly.
I would think if I needed that much prep to have sex, I guarantee you I would put that much effort in. Were you just excited to get going on or what?
Yeah, it was like amazingness, awesomeness, happening, and boom.
Okay.
It was in the bathroom, bleeding everywhere.
And then what's the next move? I mean, is this like obviously it's embarrassing. You don't feel like going to the hospital. The flip side is anything happens to my junk, I'm at the hospital. So did you go to the hospital or what?
Nope, didn't go to the hospital.
You did not. And you went on your honeymoon anyway.
No. Yeah, did my honeymoon. Hell yeah.
So you did not rip yourself with the severity that you needed to go to the hospital?
No, I don't think it was that bad. It was just blood everywhere and being on the ticket. Like, man, this is severe.
Okay. And did you? How long did you have to wait before you could safely have sex again?
Oh, it was a stout 3 weeks.
Oh, so nothing on the honeymoon. The huge uncircumcised penis. What do you think the real truth is?
I like to think I'm a pretty funny person.
Okay, all right, just checking.
See, I would always answer penis. Like, no matter what, just...
Oh, I'm a terrible person, but a huge penis.
I'm awful. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man, I got a big girthy one.
They can't resist it. So large.
Yeah, that's... look, man, I'm circumcised. I know some guys that are not, and they're like, dude, there's all these sensations, and I believe that to be true, but I can't miss what I've never experienced. The flip side of it is this guy's story. I'm like, when it comes to sex, man, like, prep to me is foreplay.
Yes.
You're both ready to go. I don't want to have to do a whole lot of extra stuff.
But I would. If I had to,
if
I
that's
would.
my scenario,
like, no problem.
Absolutely,
I'll go through the process. But you're right.
That is, you know what I mean? Like when you want, it's like guys that they talk about masturbating. Like I got lotion. I'm like, you honestly need all of that, man.
From what I hear about from adults who do end up getting circumcised, I told you about my buddy Randy. Rest in peace, Randy. Randy was 1 o'clock in the morning doing what you do when you're married and you have kids and you don't get a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 o'clock in the morning, he's on his computer. Everybody's gone to bed. Wife's in bed. Kids are in bed. Randy's having some me time, right? And he is just going to town on himself to the point where he ripped it completely off.
God.
All right? He had to wake up his wife, and then they woke up their kids because they were not at the age where they could be left at home alone.
Right.
So they all had to go to the hospital 1 o'clock in the morning. They did an emergency surgery on him at like 5 a.m. by the time that they could get a surgeon in there. So, like, he's just waiting around in the hospital. They've got, like, his skin in a bag or something. I don't know exactly what's going on because he ripped the whole thing off. But he had to get an adult circumcision. So they basically circumcised him. And the one thing he said was that it was a lot less sensitive.
Sure.
So he said when he finally got back to action, it helped him last longer in bed.
Well, sure.
Because it wasn't as sensitive as it was, but at the same time, he said, like, I miss the old sensitivity of what I had, but I'm just dealing with what I have now. He's like, and what you have now, trust me, is nowhere near as pleasurable as what I had.
He's probably right, but I'll never know.
I don't know.
He has the misfortune of knowing. See, for me, I'm like, look, maybe I don't know there's Ritz crackers out there, and all I've ever eaten are saltines. I'm fine to eat saltines. He's been eating Ritz crackers his entire life,
right?
And then he just got busted down to saltines. So for him, it's not as good. Where I'm like, they're just fine.
I'm sure his wife prefers him, just wearing a crew neck.
You think?
Well, if it's taking longer.
Oh, yeah, good point. Finally, I can orgasm.
I think there becomes a point there where that gets to the point where you're like, you need to finish this up. I want to go to bed.
Right.
Right, but I mean, what's better or worse?
That's what Bob Dole's
being done in like a minute guy or being the guy that maybe it's just like, hey, hurry it up back there.
But for most chicks, right, it's like, look, man, because one thing, most women can have an orgasm and keep going. And a guy orgasm, it's like, just give me 5, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just, I can't explain the process, but
I need a little time.
It needs to recover. Like, look, it was great. It was fantastic, but it's the equivalent of someone that run a marathon and they are very proud of themselves. But if the next thing you said is, hey, man, you want to have a sprint down the street, go to McDonald's?
No.
Like, give me a minute.
I'm just going to wear this aluminum
that's all.
thing.
Right.
That people wear. Only I can injure myself while doing blank 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Chadley. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitchola.
Hola.
How y'all doing today?
We're doing great. Thank you, man.
All right. Well, I'm about the only guy I've ever met that's ran clean through a sliding glass door.
That'll do it. What was the scenario?
Well, I was a kid, and my folks had an old house, and they had like a single pane glass door. And me and a couple buddies were running back inside to watch a movie or some crap, and it was a little dark outside, and I did not see the gleam until it was way too late. Next thing you know, I'm busting clean through this thing.
But you did bust clean through. You didn't cut yourself.
Oh, I cut myself a lot, man.
Okay. Well, how bad was that?
The worst of which was I got a slash kind of right in front of my ear down the side of my face. It was like literally a quarter-inch away from cutting my jugular.
Jesus, man.
All right. So that was the end of the night for you.
Oh, yeah, I was done. Straight to the hospital.
And how long were you in the hospital?
I was in the hospital overnight. I think they released me the next day, but I got 43 stitches in my face.
Damn, man.
How many did you cut yourself in any other places besides your face?
I got my hand a little bit, my nose kind of got a little messed up, and I have a little tiny scar over top of my eyelid.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
well, at least I missed all the vitals. I mean, you got close, but you missed them
You
all.
put your hand through a sliding glass door, didn't you?
Yeah, but I wasn't a child. I was drunk.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're going to do one way or the other. I mean...
And it's amazing, man, because I really did not feel... I remember more of the sound of the glass shattering, and I was kind of in disbelief because the glass was pretty much the entire door. It had a wood frame, but the rest of it was glass. And I'm renting the place at the time, so my initial thought is, oh, my God, dude, like the landlord's going to freak out. I'm not feeling pain, but my right hand instinctively went over, like, your elbow pit, whatever, on my left arm. And then I went to peek at it, and it had hit an artery. So when I lifted my hand, I knew it was bleeding, but again, it didn't hurt. Nice thing about sharp glass, you don't feel a thing. But I lifted my hand up, And this was a brownstone in Baltimore. And so it had 13-foot ceilings. And I remember the blood shot up and hit the ceiling like you threw a Nerf ball against it.
Damn.
Like it hits that hard because it hit the ceiling and splattered.
Ooh.
And then it keeps going. And in that moment, I started running out of energy. And the woman I'm with, basically, I was like, I think you should call 911. Then I remember I woke up in the ambulance for a second. And when I was in there, all I remember is that the dude who's in the back with me had a big, like, walrus, Andy Reid kind of mustache.
Sure.
I remember that and a pair of glasses. And he's yelling up to the driver because he's telling the driver, like, my situation's getting worse. But I don't think it's because of anything that he's reading on his charts, but my feet are bouncing up and down, right? Like, it looks like you're seizing up kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm wiggling, and it's hard to explain, but I knew that the reason I was doing that is because I'm freezing to death because all my blood's leaving my body. You get so,
okay.
but the guy's not listening to me. He keeps yelling up to the driver, do this, do that. And I kept trying to get his attention. And finally said, man, get me a blanket. So he took this ugly gray wool blanket, put it on me, and it stopped. My body finally stopped shaking. Then I get to the hospital. I don't remember anything about the hospital until I woke up the next morning. But according to the doctor, because I didn't have insurance at the time, their first thing, understand what's the cheapest alternative? Amputate the arm. Okay, that was the plan because it severed the artery, lost a lot of blood, blah, blah, blah. The doctor said I snapped my eyes open, grabbed him by the collar, and told him, I am left-handed. Do not cut my goddamn arm off. So they didn't. And they put some metal piece in there, and it was, it sucked.
Yeah. I wonder if it makes a difference which arm it is.
What do you mean? I think
like I feel like I as a right-hander, like I just assume most people are right-handed. Mm-hmm. So if I was a doctor, I might be like, that's his left. He'll be fine.
Well, that's the thing. He has an 88% chance of being correct. Right? Like 12 out of 100 people are left-handed. So I also one, but I don't think he did it for that. It was, he does not have insurance. This is the cheapest thing. Yeah. Like you said, and I don't remember the moment, but he said, dude, you made it very clear, with some choice language, not to cut it off, explain you're left-handed. So they do want to save your arm at that point, but it caught, believe it or not, for all of that, and this has happened in 1990, maybe 91, sometime around there. Just to give an idea of how much more expensive things are now. The entire experience, cutting your arm, getting a blood transfusion, they put some experimental metal piece in there so it could kind of reconnect the artery or whatever the hell it was, but $20,000. Which, if I got that bill now, based on the severity of the injury,
would be as much as Ted's physical.
I'd be like, thank God, right, as much as Ted's physical. But I was making $6.50 an hour working part-time. I was like, I don't make that much in a year to pay it off.
I wonder if there's a list of like 10 things that you could say to somebody in a coma to see if you could wake them up. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're in a coma for 4 months, but you just walk in and go, we're going to have to take his penis off, Doc.
Eyes pop open.
You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be a list of quick. Like, just put him down because I've always wanted to have sex with his wife. You know?
We had a guy who called into the show like 2 years ago.
Can I put my finger in his butt to get it out? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's got to be.
You remember the guy that called in like 2 years ago? He was on a coma for like either 6 weeks or 6 months, substantial amount of time. He woke up because his balls itched. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah.
He said, like,
that's what I mean. Like,
he was in a coma, but he said it was like this unbearable itching and woke up, and he still couldn't do anything about it because he was on a body cast, but he's like, that's what woke me out of a coma.
Just put his title to his truck in my name.
Right.
It's got to be like 10 things.
Well, and you hear some stories about people waking up out of comas, and they're like, oh, I heard everything.
Right, I heard every goddamn thing you said.
That's what I mean.
Like, should we pull the plug?
Yeah. I've always wanted to play with him.
Right. You think he can feel my hand on him?
Not coma, but sometimes, let's say you could be in a self-induced kind of out of it thing. Like sometimes too, you'll snap at it. Like something will just happen around you, and you're just like, "Oh, hey, that shouldn't be happening."
I know a perfect experience with that. We when we first moved to Seattle, we had a mutual friend that we used to call Little Trooper, very good friend of Ted's, Matt Cutera.
Oh yeah,
Matt Cutera went out drinking with us, and he does not drink like we do, but he kept up. But by the time we got back to the apartment, like he passed out drunk, like drunk. Absolutely passed out on the sofa. We're still up. We're talking. We're doing whatever. He does not hear any of the noise we're making. He doesn't care the revelry. He doesn't care the pot smoke. Ted farted. And the stink of this thing, man, and honest to God, this guy woke up like this. He woke up screaming, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, God damn.
I bet he's never French kissed a man before. I'd like to try that right now.
He's awake. Hello, Dan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I could enter myself going to the lake.
What did you do?
So I went up to Lake Diablo up here by Mount Baker, and it was super busy, so I had to park a little bit of ways. So I walked in, and I was going to go to the lake, and I heard like a stream or something off to the side, so I decided to go adventure. I walked over this log and jumped down to the other side, and a branch that was broken off caught the back of my calf.
Ah, how deep?
And at least 2 inches. I turned around and I saw the blood spray by my face, and I was like, what was that? And I looked down and I see this giant hole in my leg.
So what did you do?
I was in shock. I kind of had to regroup for a second because I was getting dizzy and I'm not already good with blood, so had to take a second. And it was packed. There was people everywhere walking by, and they didn't say anything or do anything, and I had to kind of recompose and put my sock over it so I wouldn't bleed, and had to walk back to my car, which was parked a ways, and on my way back there was like those little bathrooms they have at some campsites.
Yeah.
And I walk in and washing the blood off. This guy comes out of the stall, looks at me, and just walks out the door. Just doesn't even go to the sink to wash his hands. He's like, nope, not dealing with that.
No. A lot of people just don't want to go to the hospital, man.
Well, there is something about bloody people in the bathroom that I choose not to get.
Yeah, giant public bathroom.
Now look, if I saw you bleeding on the trail, I would offer my help. But once you're same injury, but now you're in a public bathroom, like, look, man, don't need to talk to me.
That's a hole. That's a hole in the forest. When you walk into one of those, state park, national park bathrooms, your only hope is you got to hold your breath, and then you got to get in there, and then you got to pee, and then when you go out, you go, because it's so heavy, you can't really breathe. So my theory is he was just holding his breath and had to get out of there.
But has it ever backfired where you try to go, you take that deep breath, you go in, but now your pee lasts longer than you can hold your breath. Mm-hmm. So you have to take that first big deep breath to get your air back, and it's that same stink you were trying to avoid, but now you got it's like in your mouth at that point.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's a real, because that's happened to me more than it's not. And I'm like, I got to work on my lung capacity.
Right. And if you sit on that seat, if you sit on that seat for 30 seconds, when you get up the next day, you'll see that you have 20 different mosquito bites on your ass. I mean, it's
well, and with that guy, like, if I saw his calf was bleeding, I might help. But it's a public bathroom and you're just washing off blood. I don't want to know.
That's what I mean. It just, you get 18 bullet wounds in you. If you're in the public bathroom, like, I'm not getting involved.
Only I can injure myself by doing blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Larson. Welcome to the men's room.
How's it going, guys?
Hola.
All right, so this one's not about me necessarily. It's about my wife, but she got a concussion on our honeymoon when we took a cruise to the Bahamas.
How did she do that?
So we pulled into the Bahamas, and I guess there's a resort there called Atlantis that she'd always wanted to go to, right? So I obliged, and we go, and it's not cheap. It's like $100 or $120 per person to get into this thing.
Yes, it is.
And we're doing the water slides, and I refuse to do any of the ones that just look unsafe because I'm a big guy, and I don't trust them.
All right.
And so she's giving me some crap, and then I was like, okay, I agreed, and I did kind of one that was a little sketchy, not too bad, and she's telling me it'll be fine. She goes down before me. I get in the slide, go down, come out, and she is leaning on the side of the rock wall, holding her head. And I guess when she went down to the bottom, the water pushed her under, and she smacked her head on the bottom of the pool.
Action park.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically. So we spent the rest of our honeymoon nursing her concussion. We had bought, like, the drink package, the meal package, everything, the works for the cruise ship. She didn't really feel up to doing any of it, so I spent probably 2 days having a really good time on my honeymoon.
Trying to get as much alcohol in you as possible, because you're drinking for two now. You got to get your money's worth.
Yeah, I got my money's worth. I think I covered both the tabs. But that, it really puts a damper on things.
Did you do that slide that shoots down through the shark aquarium?
I did not.
That's the big tower? That's the one that freaked me the hell out, man. That's the one where I went up there and my kid just, like, disappeared. And I was like, I'm not doing this.
No, I don't like steep slides. I don't like sharks.
Well, you know what? That slide is so steep and so long, you don't even feel like your back is touching the slide.
Right, it's like you're falling.
You just feel like you're free falling, pretty much.
So where sharks are, which when you say that out loud, is like, I don't think that's something I want to do.
No, it freaked me the hell out.
But you're in the tube.
You are in the tube.
I know.
Yeah, but still.
I know.
I want to do it.
Only I can injure myself while doing blank 206-421-ROCK. Like anything else, though, after you do it, you want to do it again.
Of course.
I was going to say,
you realize it's not all that. It still scares the hell out of you.
Sure.
But you know it's doable.
Hello, Travis. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hola. Travis, congratulations on using your signal. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no problem.
So how did you injure yourself?
So I enjoyed doing gymnastics while I was a kid and decided to wrap my arm around a bar one day.
What kind of bar? Like parallel bars?
High bar.
High bar. All right, so what happened? How did you do it?
Well, so I'm sitting there doing giant swings on the high bar, just doing my normal routine, and my leather grip caught, so the dowel goes kind of gets drug under with the leather and stops your hand, and your body obviously keeps going with centrifugal force, and broke my arm, both bones, and two bones in my wrist.
God damn.
Wrapped it literally all the way around the bar.
Damn. I would highly suggest to anybody who turns into an adult that they do not try to attempt to do the kind of gymnastics that whatever their level was as a kid.
Right.
I'm talking like a basic cartwheel. You could do like a shoulder roll, you know what I mean? Like a tuck and roll. Even if you do like hit-its in football where you just drop down to the ground real quick, you know what I mean?
Up downs.
Up downs. Don't try any of that. I tried a cartwheel not too long ago, man. I thought I almost died.
I did. My kids asked me if I could do a cartwheel, and I don't misunderstand the question. I misunderstood how memory works. So I thought back to being a kid, and I'm like, yeah, I can do a cartwheel. What I should have said is, I used to be able to do cartwheels. Mm-hmm. Same thing, man. I go to do a cartwheel. By the time I'm done, my kids are laughing and my shoulder's out.
Yeah. Last one I tried to do was handstand up against the back of the wall. All right? So you go forward and then put your, oh, God, it just collapsed into a ball in the wall, like all crumbled up, like, oh, God.
I'm much heavier now.
Because I couldn't get my feet up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kept flipping my feet. It just wouldn't go up, man. And all of a sudden, it's like, man, I'm not built for this.
I'd have my money on you to do it.
I couldn't do it.
If any of us, I'd put it on you.
I could not do it.
You got to do it. Now we put money on you.
Hell no. Ryan Castle coming up. We will sit and spin 10 songs with animal sounds in them. That's coming up next.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's. All things summer, all at the right price.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.